Hello. Let's start our week two CSCI 340 database. And for today, related database is data modeling. Okay, so we will learn something related to the some like concept and practical use of data modeling. Okay, and then you need to recognize like which relationship in the business environment. So later you will hear the terms like unary, binary, yes, like ternary relationship. Okay. And of course, we will see some like ER diagrams, and then you see the tables. Okay, and actually we do a different type of like presentation. Okay, and also we will try to describe what's the one-to-one, one-to-many, many-to-many. Okay, and then between those, the unary, binary, and then ternary relationship. Okay, so right now you just need to know the terms, okay, related to database. And when we keep going, talk about it, then you will know about all these things. And then also, we have some data is the called the intersection. Okay, so what those intersection data? So how can you when you look at it, so can you recognize them and they're able to describe okay those um intersection okay data. Okay, and then also we'll talk about the model data in business environments. Okay, so by drawing the ER diagram, so it's the entity relationship diagrams. Okay, so involve we as well as say the unary, binary, and ternary relationship, but most of the time we will see is the binary. Okay, so when we start about like data modeling, we need to talk about like why we need to think it. Okay, we need to explore okay different ways that like the entities that can relate to each other, so they always do it in the real world. Okay, especially when we actually starting a project, we are not really implement everything okay from scratch. So we have to talk to the customer. We need to know the business. Okay. So we need to identify, okay, what those entirety, okay. So what kind of object, okay, involved in their business. Okay. Then that's how we design our system. Okay. What kind of data modeling. Okay. And divisions, okay, are way of like recording, of like diagramming and the entities and the ways in which they interrelated in the business environment. So that's what we trying to do. Okay, keep all the records. Okay, so all this is the decision. Okay, and helping you to design your database. Okay, so that's why it's so essential like, for doing it. And also, it kind of like comprehensively and also like optimize data model. So it can help. First, that is a simplified and logical database. Okay, we are not putting everything into database without structure. Okay, when we learning database and then relational. Okay, so everything comes structure. So we try to eliminate some like redundancy. We try to reduce the storage of requirement. Okay, so we try our best when we design the database. Okay, so how can we save the storage? Just think, okay, you maybe think, just one column, okay, or just one digit, or they just some numbers, okay. But if you have a millions, trillions record, then how many bits occupy? Okay, and every day, if they generate every day, so that's why. How can we reduce the storage requirement? Also enable some efficient retrieval. So if you have 10 record, yeah, you can retrieve all the data. Okay, but if you have, yeah, I say 1 million record, can you show those like million record um just in 1 second, 2 second, then we need to think about that. Also, we need to like equip like all the systems like there's a single source of truth. Okay, so later we'll like what's the single source of truth. Okay, so which are essential for the effective operation and the improvable components with the regulation and regulatory requirements. So all this is the reason. Okay, and also data model is a key step like into the virtual functions of the digital enterprise. One is the software and development. Okay, and another one is the analytics. Okay, so all this is so important for that. So just have some idea. So what's the data modeling? And when we move on, we talk about the ER model, or sometimes later we draw the ER diagram. So it's entity and relationship. Okay, so we need to identify what are those entities, okay, involved like in this like business model. Okay, so we do have a diagramming techniques. Okay, so all these like we try to diagrams entities with the attributes and the relationship between the entities. Okay, so they have many like variations of ER diagrams in use different type. Okay, there's no absolutely say okay only one way, but to make it consistent. Okay, so you may follow mine, or if you look at certain books, they have different way to draw it. Um, if they are correct, allow you to use those like ER diagram because later in the assignment you will need to draw it. Okay, and you're okay, or you can follow my style. Okay, to draw the ER diagram. Okay, so right here we need to talk about what's the entity. Okay, let's say in this business, and then what is like attributes inside. So when we look at the entity, so we're drawing the rectangular shape, okay, right here. And then what's the type of entity? So it's called a salesperson. Okay, so we have the salesperson. And also we have the name of the entity like in the caps. Okay, so above the subverter line. So if they maybe do it in this way. Okay, and what following like we have some like attributes, right? So if we talk about attributes, so we'll be included like in below. So you maybe have like the sales number, salesperson numbers, maybe name, okay, commission percentage, year of high. So all these will be the attributes, okay. And you see put thing right here like in bold, okay. So it's like it called a PK. So what's the denote for this attribute? Is called the primary key. Okay, so you hear the first term is they call the primary key. Primary key should be unique identifier. Okay, so what's the meaning of unique identifier? That means we are not allowed to have like um duplicate. Okay, so the only one. Most of the time later we'll cover like we will be using two attributes. That means like you is appear the term like attributes or columns. So it means the same things. Okay, so um sometimes we're using two attributes, okay, combines a primary key, or like in more practical, actually we just like create extra column. Okay, so we're giving so like user ID, okay, salesperson number, whatever, and then we assign as a PK primary key. So that's how it looks like. And also we try to add in the relationship between different entities. So what's the association between them? Okay. So when we try to add in entities, okay, so we have different type. So you heard or they have like binary, unary, and ternary relationship. Okay, so all this. Before we move on, I would like to give an example and to join the um, this is one I'm using called the draw.io, so you can Google it. Okay, so you can start it and then just join. Let's say if I just diagram, maybe I just give a name with to database. Maybe I put it like ER. Okay, generate. It's just a name. If you giving a name, it will create something. But if you don't want to, you just let me refresh it. Okay, you can just like click start. Okay, so it will blank page. Okay, so if you remember right here in the slides is using rectangle, right? Actually more like simple, I would say the simple diagram. I would recommend you can do it in this way. If I ask you to draw a ER diagram, okay, so if I asking you, okay, so please draw a ER diagram. Okay, so if I need to draw the ER right here, and let me put it. So I would recommend you doing this. I will using alpha right here. Okay, and then another one. Okay, so because in reality that in business model we always come with um different entities and then they work together. Okay, so let's say from the record we have the sales, right? The sales person, okay, right here. And also maybe we have some orders. Okay, so we put it as orders. Okay, so if we have like salesperson and order, okay, and then sometimes we do have a relationship. Okay, so we can add certain words right here. So sometimes you will see the diagram later. You will see the diagram we're giving the diamond shape right here in the middle. Okay, so we're giving it as the diamond shape. And this diamond shape, so we're putting a verb right here. Okay, so you can put any verb. Okay, so just to make sense. Okay, maybe how can be the word they for the order by salesperson with order, maybe they can create. Okay, so maybe create orders. Okay, so maybe we can do it in this way, and then you can put the like drawing the line, so giving a connection right here. Okay, so it's a basic but if we want to remove the arrow, so let me change to the line right here, so no arrow at all. So I just want to show you the relationship right here. Okay, and we do have some attributes, right? So have some attributes. Okay, so um, if we want to make it like more consistent, so if you remember, like we talk about rectangular, so if we want to put it as a rectangular, then we just like make it like consistent as a rectangular. So it will be like this. So just like make sure everything like kind of like inconsistent. So I will say let's do it in like for the we follow the textbook. So if for entirety, I would just like put it as the rectangle. Okay, so we will keep it, and then so tables right here. So I will have orders. Okay, orders. Okay, and I just like let me move it down in the middle, and then I change the connection to here. Okay, so you can use the draw IO, so you can see how can I drag it. Okay, and you will see all the attributes, right? So if we go back to the model entirety right here, so we have the salesperson, and then we have the salesperson number. Okay, it's the primary key. If I ask you to draw the ER diagram, um, you can follow my style. Okay, so giving an identity, so will be the rectangle, okay, and diamond shape to adding a verb. Okay, so it's the relationship. So you can depends on putting, so you can like put it in the reverse, like left to the right, right to the left, it doesn't matter. Okay, and then for the attributes, so using the encrypted this form, and then we will putting the we call the salesperson number, right? So salesperson number, okay, right here. So if we want to identify is the primary key, so we can use the one is the underline. Okay, so using underline. Okay, so you may have more than one attribute, so you can add other like attributes right here. So sometimes because I know maybe for your assignment or like quiz, if I ask you to draw it and upload it, um like kind of like for time saving, then you can just like putting maybe one, two, or three. So depends on how I say okay how many attributes I request you to draw. Okay, so if I say okay, please just give me the primary key attribute, it's okay. Then you can just draw one, or if you say okay two, and then maybe you can add the name right here. Okay, and then we have the order number. Okay, so just to make it consistent, sometimes I like to call it like ID. Okay, so if a primary key, and then you can drag it. Okay, so let me draw the line right here, and then let me change it with the arrow right here. You're welcome to use any software to draw the diagram. Just remember to give me. Okay, so the line right here, name. Okay, so we have two attributes. And then we move. Okay, so in case like sometimes they say okay for this table, okay, this entity maybe only have two attributes, but I request you to draw like maximum just three, then you just draw two is fine. Okay, just check the requirement, and then that's how it looks like. And we are not going to follow like how it represents because later we have more diagrams, okay, and it looks different. And if in this moment, if you can follow to like draw the diagram, so in this way, it will be enough because I just want to show the relationship. Because if you look at the title, it's called the ER diagram, okay, ER modeling. So it's the entity relationship. I just want to see the relationship of each entity. Okay, so in the entity right here, we have such person, we have others, then we can just do it in this way, okay? And right here, once we have multiple entities, then we can start to talk about the relationship between them. So as the first one, we always say is the binary. Okay, so binary is the most common. Okay, so right here you have sales person, and then we have like sales, and then products, right? So let's say right now this time I will create one more. So I just create one more right here. So we have product. Okay, products, and we using what kind of word? So we are using sales. Okay, sales right here. Okay. So just one thing, I just forgot the grammar. So normally we just put it like non-pro, so like I say create and then right here and draw a line. Let me delete it. Okay. So just remember to remove the arrow. So it takes some time, like doing this way. Sometimes I do accept like handwriting, so you can like just draw it. Okay, so here's will be kind enough. Okay, and just telling you one thing, you will see in certain textbook they have different way to showing, but at least like what's the binary relationship? That means it's only like two tables. Okay, so involve one's the salesperson and product. So the salesperson sells the product, okay, and then they say product sold by the salesperson. Different textbook they have different way to present, okay, to showing it. You can follow my style. Just remember like this style is just like using a rectangle, give a name and attributes, okay, and given a diamond is a word, and you can draw a line, okay. And there's one more thing you can see like right here, okay. Actually it's showing later we talk about what's that one-to-one, one-to-many, many-to-many relationship. So if you see multiple, okay, the like three, that means that it's many to many relationship. But later I will explain what's the many to many relationship. So right here is telling, okay, only between two entity types. So only salesperson and product. So it's a binary relationship. Okay. Basically, when you look at the diagram, then you know it's binary, or based on the description, like when you get those information from the customer. Okay, your client, they know, okay, maybe I need to design a table in a binary relationship. Okay. So we say they sell the products, the product sold by the salesperson. So you can put the words in other way, like any way is okay. So you don't have to put it in duplicate, just one is okay. Okay. So that's my standard. Okay. And right here you can see like many products. So what's the then when we talk about like many to many later, we will talk about what's the cardinality. Okay, so cardinality is that means like we try to describe. So what's the maximum numbers of like entities can be involved like in a particular relationship. So on top of it, okay, if we talk about like binary relationship, maybe one-to-one, one-to-many, many-to-many. And just talk about like one-to-one relationship. So only like single occurrence, okay, of the one entity right here. So don't only associate with one single occurrence right here. And if you telling in this like how to say the representing, if you see many to many, why is many to many? For one salesperson, can it sell multiple products? Yes, right. So this side will be many, okay. And then those products, like maybe just one product, can it be like sold by many salesperson? Is it possible? If you think yes, then this side is many too. So that's why it's many to many relationship. Okay. When we look at it, so always put the many like right next to that table. So if we say, can the salesperson sell many products? So we put the many on this side. Okay. Can the product sold by the salesperson? We put this many. Okay. And if just one, then it can be like one-to-one relationship. So why not in this moment, you just need to remember like what's the one-to-one, okay, for the binary relationship, okay. And then was one to many, okay. So they call the cow fish food, okay. Or later we have another way to present it, okay. So to showing that it's a many, so it can be more than one, okay, 1 to 3 and 2n, okay. So it's like one to many relationship, okay. And of course, from the example you will see is a many to many relationship, like binary relationship. That means like either like each entity, so they can be like more than one. Okay, so it can be many to many. So far we're adding it. So you will see if you see some diagram, okay, right here. So if just like one, they will like showing this one. Okay, so vertical stroke right here. So it's a one-to-one relationship. Okay, let's say salesperson, they can only like working in one office, and that office only like occupied like by one salesperson. That means it only have one room. Like the one salesperson can stay in one room that which belongs to the salesperson. So it of course is a one-to-one relationship. But for customer, maybe that customer only followed by one salesperson. Okay, so it will be customer only like buy from one salesperson. Okay, so will be one, and one salesperson can sell to many customer, right? So many, so it's one to many relationship, and between the salesperson and product, and it will be many to many. Okay, and of course later we will like when we talk about is the cardinality, that means the relationship between them. Okay, so it's one to one, one to many, many to many. No matter which way. So if we're looking from customer to salesperson, this relationship still is one to many. So which is how we call it. Okay, so if you look at this, it's a many to one. No, we just got one to many. Okay, one to one, one to many, and many to many, and that's it. Okay, this one is called the cardinality. Okay, so if I ask you, okay, what's the cardinality? So it's the about the relationship like between them right here. Okay, so how many occurrence of one type? Okay, so maximum numbers. Okay, and modality. So next one is modalities, the minimum number of entirety. Okay, occurrence. So involve. Okay, so we have some like inner symbols or like on the ER diagram, but if you look at the textbook, some textbook they're showing in this way, but we are not going to follow it. Okay, so later I will draw the one. So if you see some um, symbols right here, like modality right here, zero, and then something like this O shape, okay, circle, and then stroke right here. So it's showing. And for this, like, okay, it can be no one. Okay, that means zero. Then it can be represented by the circle. If at least one, then you can see a vertical stroke right here. So you see like one will be right here. So meaning, so that means when you read it, okay, so maybe office, that means, okay, if I have an office, I only have one salesperson or minimum no salesperson. Is it possible? Yes, maybe I have 10 rooms, but I only have 5 salesperson. That means I have like 5 rooms like they are available, right? Okay, so that's why it can be 0. But for the salesperson, is it possible they may have no rooms? Okay, it can be, it depends on the situation, but when you look at this ER diagram, then you like when you look at this ER diagram, so you can capture image. Okay, so you know, okay, at least I should be have sufficient rooms for all the salesperson. So at least they will assign one room. They're able to work in one office. Okay, so there's a meaning of it. So right here, when we look at it, okay, for salesperson, is it possible that there's no customer? Right? If I am a new salesperson, I never sales any order. Okay, so there's possible 0, but I may be possible a multiple customer, right? Okay, but for customer, I should have one and only one. Okay. Salesperson. Okay. So it's impossible that okay, I'm a customer, but I already have order, but no salesperson to like follow up my order. So like I just buying from no one, right? It's impossible. So that's why at least is one. And about the one to many, this situation, and then how about many to many, but still possible. So for the salesperson, we can sell at least if you have a product that may we should at least one product being sold by the salesperson. Okay, so there will be like one to one, at least one. Okay, at least you need to sell one product. So it's relationship. And right here, we like to make it more simple so you can follow mine. Okay, so I will just delete this part. Okay, so sometimes if I didn't mention about the attributes, actually you can make it much more simple. Let me move it. Okay, so make it. Let me draw again. Okay, cells and then change it. Let me enlarge it. Okay, so I wish everyone can see this one. I add the text. So I would like to represent in this way. Okay, so um because like based on if we follow the textbook, the relationship product will be at least like it will be like many to many and then at least one. So we can do it in this way first. I would like to follow it. So it's like one comma m. Okay, so this like I would like to do, and then one comma m, and then you just put it like this. And how to read it? Salesperson need to sell at least one product and or many products. Okay, and product. Okay, so can could be like sold by at least one salesperson or many salesperson. Okay, so you can show in this way. So you don't have to like draw the symbols like the circle or vertical stroke right here. So or the chronics fluid like this. So you don't have to do it in this way. So you can use the text. So just like do it in this form. And if you're watching, just like remind you one more time. So this is the ER diagram. Okay, so it's the my format of the ER diagram. If I'm asking you, please add the attribute. So you can use the eclipse right here and just type it. Okay, let's say I have a sales person something I just put the ID on like using number. Okay, and if I want to show is the primary key underscore. Okay, and then you can like draw a line right here. And if I have one more, if I say please give me two attributes, maybe you can give me the name. Okay, so give me the name. Okay. Okay. Just be careful right here. Please don't use the arrow, have an arrow right here because we do have another meaning. Okay, when we learning database. Okay, so please don't use in this situation. Okay, so here will be the ER diagram. Okay, if you follow my I will repeat this time in the lab later, like when I ask you to draw the ER diagram. So I will emphasize one more time. Okay, and we do have some called it intersection data. That means that how can we describe the relation between like two enti entities, and then maybe like use with some many-to-many relationship we do. So maybe we can say that we present on the ER diagram as a associative entity. So this we're talking. So right here, if you have some like the intersection data, that means the salesperson. So we'll sell it and then we add something like intersection and say we have the quantity. Okay. And because of many to many, so we are showing this way. But later, why not you just need to learn that we have intersection data in this moment, but we going to solve this one. So actually we don't like to keep the many to many binary relationship. Okay, we do have sometimes we call it as a transaction table. Okay, so in the real implementation, we change many to many to one to many. Okay, that means that we have three tables. But in this moment, you just need to know what's the intersection section data. But when you sell the data, so for the order, right? So we, of course, we need to know what's the quantity, how many products they order, right? So we know like not only the salesperson, okay. So like the product, but also we want to know how many units of product that salesperson sold. So that's like called the intersection data. And later you will see right here associative entities. So the entities they can have the attributes like man-to-many relationship, and then they also can have attributes. Okay, right here. So right here in the middle, man-to-many. Then you can see we have the sales table. So this one is the transaction table. Okay, so we try to change many to many. Change to you can see right here one to many and one to many. So that's why we're adding, and then we add the another attribute right here. So there's a meaning right here. So it's like, okay, the entity can have attribute, and the many to many relationship also can have attribute. So it's the meaning. Okay, so that's what we say it's a sales. Okay, sales there is we create. So we try to change the many to many relationship just like as a one to many to one to many tables. Okay, just be careful of this one. So it's called associative entity. And it's like also we create some unique identifier of the associative entity. So like using sometimes we if you remember I talk combining, there's a combination of the unique identifier of two entities in many to many relationship. If you see right here, they may be like using two salesperson number and product number. Okay, right here to become a combination primary key. So if you see like two PK right here, it representing, okay, two of them, like from the primary key. Okay. But in practical, I recommend of you doing this way. And another one as a primary key. So right here, we have the salesperson. I would say the salesperson number, or you can say salesperson ID, product number, or product ID. Okay. So right here, I would say sales number or sales ID as a primary key. You may ask a question, okay, why if we can use the combination like attributes to form a primary key, then why we still need to like create an extra column? Because if we like have like roll back to the like about objective, there's a question that we talk about, and we try to reduce the redundancy. Okay, so sometimes like it's because the retrieval of the speed. Okay, so are you going to like retrieve like using two primary key to form like you choose attribute to form the primary key or just one attribute? Okay, so this is a question. Okay, but in practical industrial, we always try to create another column. Okay, so let's say it's a sales ID to form the primary key. Okay, and we already covered the binary relationship, and right now we talk about the unary relationship. So what this one is that is the only occurrence and entity type, only other occurrence the same entity. That means exactly same, but we will still keeping the same the continuity. That's like one to one, one to many, many to many. Sometimes they a salesperson right here, and then they may be like backup. Okay, so backups by so it's the unary relationship, or some like we say managed. Okay, some salesperson they're managed by one salesperson. Okay, but they're also in this record, so it's a unary. So it's exactly one just one table, but there's some we maybe have some extra column. So okay, it's showing it's a manager or they are the members, okay, wherever. So you see this is called a unary, and then with three relationship like cardinality. Okay, then if we draw it, it's the same way. Okay, later if we're meeting in lab or something, John, you then I can show you. Let's say we just copy the salesperson right here, and I just copy this one manage. Okay, so I put it manage. Okay, and then just connect it back. Okay, I try to remove the arrow. Remove the arrow right here. Okay, okay. And so this one is the unary. Okay, so itself. And depends on the condition. Let's say if we manage, if you can read it. Okay, so a sales person can manage many salesperson or no salesperson. That means you can be the manager, but you don't have like any like members need to manage. Then you can do it like right here. So we can, that means the salesperson can be no um salesperson be managed, but maybe maximum maybe we have so many. And then for those other like member sales, like they should be managed by one salesperson and maximum just one. Okay, maybe they have a team. Okay, maybe so only have one manager manage them. So you can like show it in this way. So it's the cardinality and modality. So all these will be joined in this way. Okay, and if you able to capture this, then you will see what's the ternary relationship. So it works like three different entity type. So right here, including salesperson, product, and then customer. Okay, so right here we have some transaction including the customer. Okay, when, that means the date. Okay, so we enjoy in this way. Okay, so there's a reason, like if you're adding more, okay, so three tables involved and then using like three columns to form a primary key. In practical, we are not doing it this way. So we try to create another column. So here's the reason. Okay, and then we can just like here is a general hardware company ER diagram. So we're showing this one. Really depends on the requirement. If I say, okay, ER diagram, no attributes, you can draw it in this way. Okay, if I asking like, please at least put two attributes, then you should like draw it in this way. Okay, and that's how I recommend you drawing like using the really relationship, we're using a diamond and then put a word right here. Okay. And also showing the cardinality and the modality, just using a square bracket. Okay, so the first digit before the comma, so it's the modality, and then the cardinality will be like after the comma. Okay, so you can use the 0, 1, and M to represent. Okay, so here's the all the relationship, and we're going to represent it. And here's one another example. Let's say it's the like the bookstore. Okay, so including, so when you read it, publisher. Okay, so they can publish. So the advantage of drawing in this way, you don't have to put like two different words like publisher, published by. So I say it's pretty redundant. So we can, let's say, published. Okay, so book. So what's the book number? And then you can see the parameter. So if I didn't ask you to put the attribute, so you can just like remove all these attribute. Okay, I just want to see publisher. Okay, and what's the relationship between them? So you can see publisher can publish no books, right? Or many books, but the book should be published by only one publisher. Okay, so right here. So you can see to show right here, one. Okay, and maybe written by right here or wrote. Okay, maybe we have the author. Okay, we have the author number. Okay, so sometimes this one you see is a many to many relationship, and we try to change it. Okay, we have a transaction, so we add a vote right here, and then box vote, and then we have no attribute. If you remember, sometimes we have the intercept data. If we have intercept data, we can put it right here. Okay, and also we have the sales and customer. So when you read it, so it's a customer can bought at least one or many. Okay, and sometimes depends. They say I can purchase as a customer, but I didn't buy any book. Is it possible? So we need to know the business model. And sometimes when we look at the ER diagram, then we can know what's their business model. So for those record, that means that okay, if they become a customer, they at least they need to purchase one book or many book. Okay, those book only can purchase by one customer. You see, maybe I have so many copy right of the book, but maybe that for each book that you need. Okay, so once it being sold, then it can be just like only one. Okay, so that's how you record. Okay, if each book in your record is unique, then of course it's one. If it can be, um, if you say, oh, how about like many, right? Even one book, is it possible this book belongs to two customers? Then you can ask this question. If no, then should be one. Okay, so if it makes sense, it's okay. So you will have more like example right here. So you can try to read it and from here. So actually sometimes they not really say it's really true or not, but sometimes give you some example and really depends on the business model. Okay, so later if you work on your project, drawing the diagram, so if it makes sense, it's okay, or you need to read the description, okay, sentence, okay, based on the sentence I gave you, statement I gave you, so then you should put it correctly. Okay, um, is like what's the modality, like 0 or 1, and what's the identity, so 1 or many, so we should able to tell it. So here's more example, so if you like, then you can refer to this example. So far we'll put it like quickly go through what's the ER diagram, just like remind you most important is the last one will be here, like how we going to draw the ER diagram. So I will recommend you can draw it in this way. Okay, and rectangular is the entirety. Okay, so it's the word right here. So we will try to use a diamond and then give it a line connect them, and then square bracket, and showing is the modality and cardinality right here. Okay, so how are we going to read it? So when we putting it, you should put it on the NSI. So salesperson sells at least one product or many product. Okay, and the product like sold by the salesperson like should be at least one or many. Okay, so right here, and later also we also talk about the intersection, like the transaction. Okay, so we're adding some intersection data right here, but of course we don't like to keep the many to many relationship. Like in the ER diagram, sometimes it's pretty simple, you're okay, but later like we when we doing the implementation, okay, and in other diagram we will always ask you to draw the try to remove the many to many relationship. But right now for the ER diagram, it's okay to keep the many to many relationship. It's okay. Okay, just like recall what we're doing. And thank you so much.